What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So we're gonna do another Joe Bart react. I just made a 2-minute video on like the Yugi and Joe Bart beef, and now I just kind of wanted to like do a part 2 to that with this video of like reacting to like the three faces of who you are to like other people, family, and then like how like no one can really know what you're thinking and everything. So yeah, let's just get right into it with Joe here.
If I were to ask you who you are, what would your response be? Initially, you might start
Who am I, bro? Like, I'd be like, bro, I'm a college student, family man, you know.
out by obviously saying your name. If you're in a formal setting, you might give me your full name. If we're more in a friendly bar, school-esque setting, you might say, hey, my name's Joe, right? If your name's Joe.
Exactly. All right, let's stop pausing every second like Joe, bro.
My name's Joe. So you're obviously just going to say your first name. No need to, oh, my name's Joe Bartolozzi. Nice to meet you. That'd be weird. But outside of that, you're probably going to mention maybe how you grew up, where you're from, your favorite sports team, what movies you like, your favorite musicians, what you want to be when you grow up, certain things that signify and give you a uniqueness that separates you from other people the person you're talking to have met. But you're not actually answering the question. When I ask, who are you, and you give me your favorite movie, where you're from, your name, none of those things are actually you. You're just answering that in a way to give me a sort of, slot in my own brain of shelves to put a face to a name, right?
Yeah, like, what do you like to do? Do you like to play games, watch TV? To, like, associate you with something to, like, get to know you. Which kind of is you. Like, you are the things that you do. So, technically, that's a counterpoint, you know?
So I remember you. You're making me remember you. You're not actually letting me know who you are on a deep level, what you believe,
Okay, yeah. Deep level, I agree with that. I agree with that point.
who you are as a conscious being orbiting this planet. You're just saying, hey, my name's Joe. I really like Superbad. That's my favorite film, blah, blah, blah. And it's supposed to make me remember you and spark some sort of stupid fucking taxi-esque weather conversation. I'm going to be all over the place with this video, but I just kind of want to open up by...
I think Joe has this perspective of, like, maybe, like, his perspective is kind of formed by, like, how he meets people in the real world, like at TwitchCon or when he goes out in public. That kind of felt like a stab at, like, of people, like, talking to him. I don't know, but let's just get into it.
Saying that I don't know who I am. Not saying I don't know what I want to be. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know who I...
Like, does anyone know who they are personally? Because, like, every day is a new day, right? Like, consistency is key. Like, going to the gym. Obviously, Joe works out. Right. It's like, do you really know who you are on a philosophical level?
I am. All I know is that I'm a thinking thing. And that's such a stupid philosophical saying that people are going to kind of repeat into the fucking dirt. It's beating a dead horse. But I truly cannot recognize myself in a mirror at times. Not necessarily because I'm dissociating every time I look at myself, but when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm just a body. I'm just somebody that thinks. I'm a thing that thinks, and that's all I am. My name, you know me, watching this video, as Joe Bartolozzi, right? I don't know.
Right, but, like, watching someone's YouTube video is, like, parasocial. Like, you don't know them on a deep level. Like this video, you don't really know me, but you know, like, what I do, you know what kind of videos I post, I mean, maybe my perspective on things, but, like, we don't go out to lunch every week, you know? Something like that.
What your name is watching this, because there's probably a few thousand, 10,000 people watching this. I don't know who the fuck you are. And if I were to ask you that, you would answer with the prompts that I already said in the beginning of the video. You wouldn't actually be able to tell me who you are. I can't even tell you who I am. Because on a genuinely deep level, the inner you, past the inner monologue, past the person that you show to the other people, is so distorted and rare to see.
Yeah, it's like going out on a date, right? Like, you're not going to just trauma dump your whole entire, like, family history on a first date. that'd be kind of crazy. Unless you're like a young stupid guy or something, like I was. Anyway, but yeah, who you are in public is way different than who you are at home, and I totally agree with that.
That you never even get to meet and understand that version of yourself. I have no idea if that makes sense. The way I'm going to try and explain this a little bit better is by using a Japanese saying that you may have heard in school in a literature class or something of those sorts. The first face you show is to the world. You have three faces, right?
So show to the world, you show to your close friends and your family, and the third face you never show anyone. It is the truest reflection of who you are. So I think the third face is like your dreams, your aspirations, your goals. What do you do as your like main side hustle maybe? What's your passion? Do you ever act on your passion? Do you not? Or it could be your dreams that you don't follow. Like you really wanted to be a painter, but for family purposes you owned a restaurant instead, or maybe you grew up like being like a financial analyst and you just did that instead of I don't know, being like a principal at a school or something. Something that gives you value to who you are. You know?
The first face you show is to the world in everyday life, right? The people that you meet in school, the people that you see at work, the people you see in sports or at a bar or just walk.
And sorry for pausing. Anyway, Socrates, I feel like Socrates had a real nice grasp of like showing his third face, because he died what he believed in. He tried to stand up to government, and I read up on Socrates like a couple years ago, and it was really nice. It's like one of the stories that like actually made me like feel like, dang, this guy, his whole thing was just like standing up to power. That's amazing. But like in our modern day era of like right now United States, that's not really, you can't really apply that in like certain ways, I guess. But it's really cool to read up on Socrates. Highly suggest you check that out.
Walking by on the street. The second face you show to your close friends and your family. And the third face, the truest reflection of yourself, you never show to anybody but yourself. But even then, right, I'll agree with that saying, the three-face theory. But even then, the one that you show to yourself is so rare to see. It's so deep, and you can't even bring it out to yourself to recognize it. I have no idea if this will be relatable. This might be the dumbest fucking yap I have ever had in my entire life. But there are times where I'm just sitting there and it's this weird realization. It's the it's like a disassociation. Once I dissociate, that's me. Once I sit there and I forget who I am, and I've removed all of these physical attributes of myself. I forget my name. I look at myself. When I don't recognize myself in the mirror, that's me. The thing that is just thinking. I'm just a being that exists within a body that has a finite amount of time on this planet, and then I'll die, right? And I don't want to say it's that simple, but when you sit there and you can remove everything about yourself, that is you. And you can really get into like nirvana and the removal of self, and you can really like delve deep into certain religious beliefs or philosophical beliefs that people strive to remove all of these, materialistic things from themselves. And I genuinely believe that is you.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I really kind of let myself go a little bit. Like I used to be like 170 pounds freshman year of high school. Now I've gained weight. I'm in college, I don't know, I miss being consistent in the gym or like some of that stuff. And it's like I think the third phase is like maybe you're like, it could be like your mental state of like what you really believe. It could also be like depression. Like you don't really know if someone's depressed, right? Like I had this family friend, Rob, like my aunt and my dad, they kind of knew him. They like grew up in the same neighborhood, but he sadly committed suicide, and no one really knew like why. I guess he's just getting old. And yeah, he was like, I guess having seizures, or he wasn't on the right medicine, something like that. And yeah, and he was, he would have the hugest smile in church, hugest smile, and yeah, I'd see him at my job at Highway sometimes, or when I used to work there. I'm working tonight actually, but it's like you don't really know someone unless you go into that deep train of thought, and even then, they still might not even show it. So, and, it's good to think on like a deep level of things every now and then, not all the time, because then you get lost, and then it's not really that deep anymore.
When you grow up, and you're born and you're given a name, a lot of people say your name doesn't define you, and that's true, but all of the things that you experience in your life, all of these environmental factors that play a role in making you that you have no control over, shape the you that you are. Me being named Joe has changed my personality in ways that I can't understand because I've only been ever known as Joe. And I have to go every day in my life self-identifying myself as Joe. That's why stereotypically people always say, oh, Joe's will act this way, Derek's will act this way, Brandon's will act this way. And while all those things may not be true, being given a name that has a stereotype or a certain ideology or thing attached to it will change you as an individual. Like, I don't want to...
Yeah, it's kind of like me. Like, my mom was like, oh, your name's Lucas. Your name means, like, light bringer or bringer of light. I mean, I was literally the spirit leader in band, like, senior year. I was the spirit leader. I would just be the guy, like, yelling commands during marching band, just bringing up the energy. And it was super fun. That's just one example. But, yeah, and I really like to laugh. Every time I'm playing games with my cousin Andrew, like, we laugh a lot, but I guess I bring the energy. Or even to my fast food job, sometimes I'd be doing that too. But no, side rant. It was Sarah's birthday yesterday. We all went out to Toro's, this Mexican place. And I don't know, like, sometimes I just say out-of-pocket stuff and it's funny. It's really funny because it, like, catches people off guard. We were just talking, and I was like, "It's time to die," and they're like, "What? What are you talking about?" And I don't know. It just lightens the mood. I think, even though I don't really care what people think about me, like on a surface level, I still brightens the mood and makes people laugh. So,
say name when you have a kid, your kid's name matters because at the end of the day, name your kid whatever the fuck you want to name your kid, but it does. Because if you name your kid something that will have a genuinely negative impact on them, like Karen, like if you name your kid Karen, I'm not going to say your kid's going to turn out to be a Karen, but they might be more likely to turn out as a Karen. That's not the main point. That's not the main point of this video. That was just me rambling now. Obviously, if you want to name your kid fucking Karen, name your kid Karen. Nobody names their kid Karen anymore. But back to my point. More realistically, that was a stupid point. Sorry. Where you're born, right, is a better example. If you're born in fucking Utah, right, the you that is born in Utah is going to be such a different you than if you were born in New York or Florida or, hell, a different country. If you're born in Vietnam, Japan, Australia, where you grew up, literally the town, the city you grew up, the school you went to.
Okay, so this is like nature versus nurture. He's going like the nurture route, probably.
All of these things that you have no control over change the physical you that walks this earth every day. But the you that you really are, I keep saying the word you, the you that you really are is no one. And you are just a being that is capable of thinking and has a physical impact in this materialistic world. And that's, at the end of the day, that's all you are, and that's all I am, right? And some people say that that's upsetting. And obviously, feel free to disagree with me. You can explain why in the comments. But I feel like that it makes me feel closer to the universe, knowing that all that I am is nothing. And that's such a weird thing to say, but it's true. When I have this self, mindset of I'm Joe Bartolozzi, I have to uphold these values of my own self, all these other things, it makes you feel detached, not from reality. It makes you more ingrained in the physical reality, but it makes you more detached from everybody and everything around you. If you're able to just be fluid and live your life as an open being that is just absorbing input and then outputting information back, then life becomes so much easier. But that you rarely see. Right? You're never really going to interact with that version of you because there's never going to be a back and forth conversation the way you have it in your own brain, right? It's just going to be this weird feeling of like, ooh, who am I, right? It's like a disassociation. The you on the daily basis is the you that you have, an effect over. And I think that you on a genuine level matters more because that's the you that you're going to see basically 99% of your life. But even that you is not concrete. That you changes on a daily basis, on a yearly basis, on a decade basis. If you were to ask your parents if they were able to relate to the 20-year-old version of themselves, they would likely scoff at you and say, no fucking shot.
Who really knows who you were, when you're 50, you were 20 years ago? I mean, your mindset is completely different. You probably have a different job. You might be retired at 55. Your goals have changed, definitely. You might, be in a relationship now. I mean, it's just like Joe when he was like, being famous on TikTok for just like yelling at clips, being very mad. And then he kind of switched over to YouTube to show people more of his like real personality. Because obviously the TikTok thing was just a front to gain popularity, and then to switch that over to YouTube, which was a smart idea, and Twitch. But yeah, even like my freshman year of high school, I didn't have like a shred of personality. Like today, I think I have a lot more personality. I like show people who I am more often than not. Yeah, like for my first 8 months at Subway when I was like 17, I didn't really show any personality, and then I guess my coworkers kind of warmed up to me, and vice versa, and then started to act like kind of weird, and then it was fun, and then it's like that honeymoon stage, if you ever been through like therapy or whatever, like the 5 stages. It's like the honeymoon phase when everything's fun and enticing, and like you just like moved in with somebody or hanging out more often, and then eventually kind of dulls back down, and then it kind of like flat lines, and then it just goes up and down based on like what you do. But anyway.
Now, there are some people that would say, yeah, I'm the same exact person I was 20 years ago. To that, I would say that motherfucker hasn't had any self-growth whatsoever because the self-growing process never fucking changes. And that's not a diss. I'm just saying if you are 60 years old and you can perfectly relate to 20-year-old self, your 20-year-old self, I feel like that's an issue. Thinking of people and how they perceive you is such a weird experience, especially in the job career that I'm in, because I've been on social media since I was in high school, right? I was 17, and it was, January of 2020 is generally when I, started social media. But I never really grew a platform until, year and a half later, blah, 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 down the line. Here we are today. But if you look back at my older videos, right, on TikTok or on YouTube or even my old streams, you can see how I've changed, right? Not only in my mannerisms or how I speak, but also my thoughts, how I portray myself to my audience, because I've grown and people have witnessed that, right? From me going from, a young, naive, narcissistic teenager to now I just turned 23, a week ago, and, here I am. If you look back at my older videos, right, on TikTok or on YouTube or even my old streams, you can see how I've changed, right? Not only in my mannerisms or how I speak, but also my thoughts, how I portray myself to my audience, because I've grown and people have witnessed that, right? From me going from, a young, naive, narcissistic teenager to now I just turned 23, a week ago. And, here I am. And it's such a weird experience because, you could relate to this on a genuine level as well. When you meet somebody in public, for me, it would be somebody that I don't know. For you, it might be somebody that you haven't seen in years. You don't know what version of you they see and what version of you they have in their own mind, right? And when you live your life on a day-to-day basis, think about the 1,000 people you know. Each of them has a different view of you as a person and as an
Sorry, Chad. I only had like 7 hours of sleep. Grinding DVD till like 3 a.m. It's crazy.
individual. And it's such a weird experience when somebody recognizes me in public because I have no idea what version of me they think I am. Not that I'm acting differently on different platforms or whatever, but TikTok, I'm a very exaggerated version of myself. I'm just screaming and it's stupid fucking videos, right? But
what did I tell you? Hard read. Pre-watch.
some people, that's all they know me as. And that's all they'll ever know me as. And when they see me in public, they go, it's the angry TikTok beanie guy, right? And they don't know anything about me. Then when somebody sees me on, the side of the road and they're like, hey, Joe, I watch your YouTube videos, I end up knowing that while they may not know what I believe philosophically or religiously or whatever of those, sorts, I, in a non-parasocial way, recognize that individual knows me on a more deep level than someone that says they know me on TikTok. Because they're seeing less of me, they're seeing an older version of me. And it's so weird to think that people that I've never even had interactions with, or even had interactions with in your case, or even mine, that the version that they see of me is not the current me that exists. And it annoys me because I am very sound, not necessarily like, oh, I found the way or anything, but I'm more proud of who I am now and the growth that I've had than when I was making cringy, stupid TikTok videos. So when somebody sees me as that individual, or they're already off the ground, mad, or don't like me and they think my content's stupid. Like I've had people tell me they think I need to kill myself or they want to kill me or something like that. And it's just like, dude, you don't even know me, right? And even if, you've had a bad experience with you or somebody that you don't like, right? Say you had beef with somebody in high school and now you're 26 and you see that person again. They're going to imagine you as that same individual. And I advise you, when you go throughout your life and you see people that you haven't seen in years, to not automatically assume that person is the same dickhead Frank they were in, sophomore year in high school.
Honestly, I gotta disagree. I get people can change, right? But most people don't change, right? I knew this guy named Tristan in middle school to high school. Big guy, wrestler, 260 pounds. And then, when I had my dad pass away, last year, I go to Verizon because I want to unlock his phone, which I never got to unlock his phone because Verizon is retarded, and I don't know. I guess you would need an FBI guy to unlock it, but I don't have the resources. Anyway, yeah, he has a Google Pixel 9 Pro or something, and no one can unlock it. I'm like, bro, did bro have federal secrets on this thing or something? Anyway, no, he used to be 260 in middle school, and now I see him working at Verizon. We hug it out because he heard my dad passed away, and I'm like, thanks, bro. But this guy's he's completely different. He stopped, being a wrestler. He works at Verizon. He honestly looked like he was double the amount of weight. He looked like he was 400 pounds. And I was like, bro, that's crazy. Because, I thought he was doing all right in middle school and, early high school, and he was okay. But then I guess he kind of just, stuff happens to people. I don't know what he went through, But, I hope he loses weight. Doesn't die in his 40s or anything.
or something like those. I'm getting really off topic here. Back to what I was saying. The different versions of me existing also make me feel a little bit better about death. The reason being goes back to, something Marcus Aurelius said. I want to do an entire video on Marcus Aurelius and meditations and, his own diaries. It's a very fascinating thing. Read the book if you haven't. I'm still finishing it. But you basically read the, private diary of a Roman emperor thousands of years ago that never thought that anybody would see, what he wrote down today. But he basically goes into Stoicism and the idea of death, and that there only is one version of you that dies. And that is the present existent you that is dying in that moment. You're losing an individual moment. You're only losing the present. And when you start thinking about it, you end up realizing that when you end up dying, right? Because at one day we will all die, or at some point we will all die. The only person that's dying and will have to confront death is the exact person that is dying in that moment, that version of you. The version of me that's speaking right now, the one that you're watching, is already dead. Obviously, I hope the physical Joe Bartolozzi is still alive by the time this is uploaded, but the version of me that is recording this will no longer exist. I will cease to exist 10 minutes after I'm done recording this video. Now, obviously, the me that exists 10 minutes from now will be almost identical to the me that is existent right now. But 10 days, 10 years down the line, I look back at this, right, and I'll watch this video, and I won't relate to this me at all. I might agree with some of the things that I'm foundationally saying, but
Yo, facts.
will look back at this and I won't even recognize myself. Similarly to when I watch my own videos, my old videos, I've watched cringy old videos of myself that I've made, 4 years ago. And it's...
Yes, bro, it's like, if you can't be cringy with yourself, then, you don't even... if you don't want to show your cringiness, you're, mega introverted, I feel like. Then again, you don't have to be, the super weird guy all the time, like me sometimes. But then again, it's like you don't want to be the party pooper, just in your corner, not talking to anybody. You show up for 30 minutes and leave, be a little sociable, I guess.
Such a weird experience. You guys may relate to this when you have a memory pop up from your camera roll from 2020 or something, and you see yourself and you entirely forgot about that memory, and you're like, wow, that's me. But it's not, right? The only you that exists is the present you. The past you is dead and the future you doesn't exist. The only you that will ever experience death is the present you.
I feel to a certain extent that's true, but also if you do something really, really bad, that can determine the rest of your life. So sure, maybe the you from a couple years ago is different, but also at one point you were that person, right? And you did do something wrong. So technically, I get what you're saying, but also let's say you killed 20 people. That's a life sentence, I don't know. But then again, you could read the Bible when you're in prison or whatever, and change and be forgiven, I guess, and then yeah. But for most cases, I guess a couple of years ago, you from now is completely maybe different in terms of mindset, everything else.
At the moment that you die. Boom. While I do believe the true self is nothingness and just a thinking thing, and that's all I think we all are, the physical you that exists and the me that is talking right now still is a part of me, right? I don't want to entirely discredit that self because that is the me that's going to live the majority of my life. But when I'm nearing death, right, I think that other me will start to show its own face. I think that other me that is more connected to the universe, but less attached to my physical self will exist in that moment. I don't know if that makes sense. It's really hard to convey philosophical thoughts that I experience in my own mind to words that are understandable, because a lot of it is feeling based, and it's hard to convey emotions in words. I ask myself this all the time. This is the last thing I'll say. I ask myself all the time why people watch me. And I understand that I'm funny in certain aspects. I think I'm good at riffing. You know, I'm reactively funny. I think I can watch something and make a joke about it that a lot of people may find funny, a lot of people may not. But it's so, I never even knew that there was an audience that wanted to see me talk about this, right? I don't know how well this video will do. I don't really give a shit, right? Because this is more for me and the people that want to see it. If it gets 5 views, I don't really give a shit, right? This is just a rant that I wanted to, you know, do for you guys. But I don't know how to describe it. When I upload these videos and they get views, I'm like fucking astonished that there's even this amount of people that have the same struggles with me. It makes me feel better. It makes me feel better that I'm not the only one that is struggling with self-identity, struggling with a day-to-day basis of recognizing the me that exists and the me that I have to put forth to people. And I think I've gotten better at it over the years. A lot of people say that I've obviously grown and they've seen that themselves watching me over the last few years, and I'm glad about that. But it's a never-ending struggle. You will never figure out the definitive you. You'll be at peace knowing that the you that exists will forever change, and knowing that the you that exists will never be fully known. Wow. There it is. Okay, that was really fucking hard to say. But, I mean, I think this rant went over what I wanted it to. I'll probably get into more philosophical terms in some future videos. I have like 10, 20 rants that I wanted to do. I just started typing random stuff.
I'm kind of like Joe in the sense of, like, I want to actually scratch that entire sentence. I hate using the word like. Every time I rewatch my videos, I'm like, see, I'm like, shut up. Shut up. I'm self-aware in that sense. Anyway, let me as well. Is terrible. I'm just like, what are you talking about? Why are you saying It's like I'm giving myself. See, it's like I'm giving myself room to breathe between sentences, but it's, it's. I've dumbed my vocabulary down so much. It's like, bro, you're losing your education experience. I'm similar to Joe in the fact that I want to do projects, I want to do certain videos, but then the me that's recording this right now might not even become a video. I mean, it might will, right? It's like, right? Anyway, all these filler words, just trying to convey the message at hand, which is the difference between doing something and just talking. 2 completely different things will change your career. It's like, are you going to do it? Or are you going to talk about doing it, right? It's like,
This was just one I wanted to record before I started streaming one random day. But if you have any videos that you want me to, make or ramble about.
And then also, right, I want to make like a Discord server for the channel and be like, you guys want me to react to anything? Here you go. But then I'm not really attentive to my channel at all, right? Like, I'm not really consistent at all. Like, I got a video from 2 months ago, 3 months, 5 months, 7 months. My most popular one was this Sneaky Arc Raiders, which I literally, not joking, I spent like maybe 3 to 4 hours, like frame by frame, making this video based off of Lucci's video. And it's like, sure, I enjoyed working on a big project, but at the same time, I felt like it wasn't me. But it performed well, and I got a bunch of comments on it, like 19 comments, and it got received really well. But it's like, if you want to be successful, you just gotta keep doing what you're doing, right? So, it'd be like that, bro. It'd be like that. Speaking of Steam, bro, I cannot get this achievement. The Foghorn by repairing the generator by the steamboat and escape. Apparently 21% of players have done this achievement. On Steam, of course. So I'm like, either I'm terrible at the game, or because I've spent at least like 8 to 10 hours using this map offering. It's because the offering will take you to two different versions of the map, and I've always gotten the wrong one. So it's like 20% chance to land, but then half that to get the other version. So it's like a 10% chance. It'd be like that, bro. It'd be like that. So yeah, my best killer was Wraith. He's really good. I played 35 hours of him, apparently. Second one is Myers because he's really good. Kill rate 63%. Wow, I didn't know Wraith was 30% pick rate. Holy. Apparently my animatronic is a 70% kill rate, which is kind of crazy. I played a lot of Huntress. I didn't even know that. My kill rate on Bubba is 73. 76 on Knight. 94 on Wesker. Oh, that's only of the matches that I've played. So it's like 9 times out of 10 I've killed, what, one person? Is that what it goes by? One person, one kill per match? Okay, I was thinking like over every match I've played, that's the like kill rate or something. I don't know. Anyway, more content coming soon, right? Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out, boys. Alright, boys.
Show me your friends, I'll tell you your future. Your dry ain't like you're a loser. As a young G, I ride on a scooter. I'm the source, I'm the man, I'm the rooter.